2,000 years ago, Roman generals were given a strange reminder during their greatest victory as they rode through the streets of Roman triumphs. Roman writers wrote of a reminder spoken behind the general in the chariot, a warning meant to keep victory from turning into arrogance. This was quietly whispered in their ear. It wasn't praise, it wasn't celebration, a reminder meant to keep the general from forgetting something every human eventually faces. The philosophers of Rome believed that this reminder was one of the most important truths that a person could carry. So they gave it a name, Memento Mori. Remember that you must die. A Roman general returned from war victorious. The city erupted with celebration. The streets overflowed with cheering crowds. Flowers covered the roads. Musicians played. Soldiers marched proudly behind their commander while the people shouted his name as if he were a god. The general stood tall in his chariot, dressed in gold and crimson, admired by thousands. He had conquered kingdoms. He had defeated armies. He had everything a man could dream of. Power, respect, glory. Yet standing just behind him was a servant. Not to praise him, not to congratulate him, not to celebrate with the crowd. His only purpose was to lean close to the victorious general and quietly whisper the same words again and again. Memento Mori. Remember that you must die. At first, I couldn't understand it. Why speak of death during the greatest victory of a man's life? Why stain a celebration with such heavy words? Then the old man smiled. He said, because the greatest danger isn't failure, it's forgetting that you're human. That sentence followed me for years. I didn't understand it until life forced me to. One by one, the people I knew began disappearing. A neighbor whose laugh filled the street. A teacher who believed in me before I believed in myself. A friend who always said, we traveled the world together. One day they were here. The next day they became memories. Life didn't ask for permission. It simply kept moving. For the first time, I realized something terrifying. Death doesn't only happen to strangers. It patiently walks beside every single one of us. Not as an enemy, as a certainty. Most people spend their lives pretending they have endless time. They postpone dreams, delay forgiveness, ignore their health, waste hours arguing with strangers. They carry hatred like a prized possession. They complain about Mondays. They scroll endlessly through lives that aren't theirs, all while trading away the only currency they can never earn back. Time. Seneca once wrote that we do not receive a short life. We make it short by wasting it. That sentence hit me harder than any motivational speech ever could. Because I realized I wasn't poor. I wasn't unlucky. I wasn't trapped. I was simply wasting the one thing even kings could never buy. Every sunrise was another piece of my life spent forever. Every sunset was one less I would ever see. That realization changed everything. I stopped asking whether something was easy. I started asking whether it mattered. I stopped asking whether people liked me. I started asking whether I respected the man staring back at me in the mirror. Because one day that man will disappear. So will I. So will you. That isn't pessimism. That is freedom. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history. He commanded armies. He possessed unimaginable wealth. Yet he reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Imagine that. The most powerful man in the world woke each morning, remembering he could die before sunset. Not because he feared death, because he wanted to deserve another day if it came. Think about that. How many of us wake up with that kind of awareness? Most of us wake up already distracted. already complaining, already searching for comfort. The Stoics believed comfort was dangerous when it became your master, because comfort slowly steals courage. It convinces you to wait, to settle, to avoid risk, to stay average. It tells you there's always another chance. But there isn't always another chance. Sometimes there is only today. I remember standing alone one evening, watching the sun disappear beneath the horizon. For reasons I couldn't explain, it felt different. Not because the sunset was beautiful, but because I realized I would only witness a limited number of sunsets before my own story ended. Nobody knows the number. Not you. Not me. Suddenly, the sky looked more beautiful than it ever had. The wind felt colder. The silence felt louder. Even breathing felt like a gift. Nothing around me had changed. Only my awareness had. That is the power of remembering your mortality. It doesn't make life smaller. It makes life infinitely more valuable. A man who remembers death speaks more honestly. He loves more deeply. He forgives more quickly. He wastes less time proving himself to people who don't matter. He builds instead of complains. He acts instead of waits. He understands that discipline isn't punishment. It's respect for the limited days he's been given. Imagine two men. One believes he has forever. The other believes today could be his last. Who do you think will hug his mother longer? Who will finally start writing the book? Who will tell the woman he loves how he truly feels? Who will train harder? Who will stop making excuses? Who will become extraordinary? The second man, not because he is fearless, but because he understands something the first man refuses to face. Life has an ending, and endings give meaning to every chapter before them. The Roman generals eventually climbed down from their chariots. Their victories faded. Their statues cracked. Their names disappeared into history. Yet those whispered words survived thousands of years. Memento Mori. Remember that you must die. Not so you become afraid, so you become awake. One day your phone will stop ringing. Your chair at the dinner table will belong to someone else. Your voice will become a memory inside the people who loved you. The question isn't whether that day will come. The question is what kind of man you'll be before it does. Will you spend your years chasing comfort? Or will you chase character? Will people remember your excuses? Or your courage? Will your life become another unfinished story? Or one that inspires someone long after you're gone? The clock is already ticking. It always has been. Every heartbeat is a reminder that your greatest possession isn't money.